the American dream to you? Well, see, to you, I don't see no white picket fences around my way. Not in my future. What's your version? Let me explain something.
The song you're listening to is written and composed by my cousin, a man for whom the American dream never did become a reality, and in all likelihood never will. That's the case for his mom and his mom's mom. His mom's mom is also my grandma, the very same one that I spoke about not too long ago, a woman who is currently staring down the end of her very, very long years. And even though she spent those years and that lifetime giving nothing but love and compassion to the people around her, she received very little in return. She is the embodiment of what the American dream is supposed to be, of who it's supposed to be for. She grew up as a kid in Poland at the time when the Nazis invaded. She lost everything, including many of her family members, to the Nazis. She was able to escape. She came to America with a Polish-American soldier, thinking that this was her way out, this was her better life. And what she found was that she had married a man who became a drunk, abusive, gambled most of their paycheck away. She had 4 children who she could barely keep fed. She worked 2 jobs to try to feed them because her husband never gave them enough to provide. She went to the church to ask for help with her abusive husband, to ask how she could get away. And the church said, "We don't believe in divorce. We're against divorce. You just deal with it. Just deal with it." She came back to them when she couldn't feed her children to ask for help, to ask for something. They said, "You married this man. This is your bed. You made lie in it." Really Christian, huh? So that was her life, struggling every single day to try to provide for a family against all odds, living in a poor community. My mom grew up hungry, and of her siblings, she is the only one, through good fortune and hard work, who managed to make the right decisions and have those decisions come together for her to get out and get a better life. Her sister, who's the mother of my cousin who wrote this song, was not so lucky. The man that she chose to marry did not treat her nearly as well as my father treated my mother. She had 2 boys, and this one and the other, both of them grew up struggling in the same ways. Both of them grew up not getting to live that American dream. Why? Because when my grandma came to this country and looked for help and asked for it and tried to live that American dream and tried to work her way up, she was constantly denied. She was constantly beaten down. So she was never even able to give her children the tools to succeed. They had to find it themselves. She was too busy working just to keep them alive. So they had to try to make or break it on their own, without the tools, without the background, without the knowledge to go and do this. And not all of them were as lucky as my mother was. And so, my aunt grew up, again, without these tools, without the ability to give those tools to her children, without the knowledge, without any systems in place to help her. And that's, if you look at the way the education system is skewed in our country. I went to a public school that was great about, investing in their students' education and their future. Guidance counselors providing you information about colleges, about grant opportunities, about, scholarship money and aid money. My mom's community, my grandma's community didn't have any of that. They had no way of knowing these things. Their schools, they didn't give a rat's ass. They expected most of the kids weren't going to go to college because most of them didn't. They didn't put that time and effort in. When my mom decided she wanted to go to college, she had to figure all of that out herself. She had to go through all of that. Nobody helped her. Nobody was there. Even when she asked, even when she looked for it, even when she sought it, nobody was there to help her or pick her back up. Thus was the case with my aunt. Thus was the case with her children. They were just never in a position to have these opportunities. And they fought and they pushed for it. You hear right there, my cousin made an album. He made several albums. He played music in several different bands. And it just never happened for him. Every step of the way, people were there to keep him down, to shove his hard work back in his face, to take things away from him, right or wrong, deservedly or no, justly or not. He was just never given those opportunities, those chances to rise up and succeed. Now, this story is old. It's been told before. It's been heard before. You go back to any of the mass immigrations of groups. They came to the country. This country was the same thing. They came for the American dream. They came for freedom. They came for a better life. And they met bigotry. They met people wanting to keep them down, ostracism, getting beaten up in the streets, feeling only safe in their own communities. That's why they retreated deeper and deeper into tribalism. And that's what we have more and more now today. because that hasn't changed. That desire to keep the others out, the others away, the others down hasn't changed one single bit. And now the American dream is more dead than it's ever been. It's no secret and it's nothing new that we have a wealth discrepancy in this country, that the rich keep getting richer while the poor keep getting poorer, and that middle class is slowly disappearing. That's been happening for years now. We've all been aware of it. We've all seen it. But now some of the other cultural phenomenons that are going on are making the American dream even harder to attain than it has ever been. We are a country founded on the idea that persecution is wrong, that we do not persecute people for having different beliefs, different attitudes, different ways of life. What is cancel culture if not a complete and utter mockery of all of those principles? If it's not the opening the door, allowing that to become the norm, to become the regular thing, to tell people they're just fundamentally wrong and not deserving of things, just simply because they don't believe the same things that you believe. They don't act the same way you act. People who may have come from nothing and worked their way up day after day, pushed up to improve their situation and get someplace better, and because of one wrong tweet, that can all get snatched away from them. Because that's our country now. This is not a free country anymore in the strictest sense of the word. There are limitations on speech and attitudes. People are being punished for freedom of expression that should be protected under our Constitution, and it's not. We have a system that still encourages people to go to college. Go to college, get an education, you'll have a better life. And instead of college giving people opportunity, all it's giving them is crippling debt. They're not graduating and getting these amazing jobs, the ones that were available to our parents' generation, and to suddenly be okay. They're not expanding their minds. They're in these little think tanks because we've given all the power to cancel culture. We've given all the power to the snowflakes to police what we're allowed to say, what we're allowed to think. And any teacher who wants to stand against that gets their ass kicked out the door. So instead of graduating with marketable skills and a place in this world, if you're so lucky to have been born rich, that's taken care of for you. If you're not, most likely you'll spend the rest of your life trying to pay off those student loans, trying to pay off the money to get that education, and not nearly getting anything back that you put into it. Now, grad school. You got to go to grad school in order to make something of yourself. But who can afford to go to grad school when you already graduate with crippling debt? You can't get approved for new loans. You can't get the money to do it, and the stipends offered aren't nearly enough to cover your expenses to live while you study to become an expert in something that might actually give you a better path. Everything in our system is designed to keep us down. We bicker incessantly, liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican, as if it even matters, as if the people at the top aren't just sitting there laughing, as if the senators who write, opinion pieces criticizing each other and tearing each other down aren't sharing a beer after work, laughing about whatever it is they've done, not caring, not giving a good goddamn about their ideology, as long as they're the ones who stay in power and we're the ones who stay down. Because that's the reality of it. All of this infighting that we do at this level means nothing, because the people in power, the people with the most money, want to see us divided, want to see us fighting with each other, because then we don't turn our eye to the real problem. We don't talk about the real issues and try to help each other get past this. We tear each other down, and they're just laughing at us every second that we do. And we treat success like a zero-sum game. Like if I have it, I have to somehow tear you down or take it away from you. I can't celebrate your success. I gotta try to crap all over it instead. What is that? We treat righteous morality as a justification to dehumanize our neighbors. Going back to that persecution thing, to treat people as if there are some of their beliefs, and as if having those beliefs gives us somehow the right to treat them like lesser people. How is that American? That is the most un-American thing I can think of. That we think as people, we have the right to treat someone as lesser than. To treat someone like they don't matter simply because we disagree with them. We think that we're morally right and morally superior. Meanwhile, once again, the rich are getting richer. They're laughing at us, tearing each other apart. When if we came together to push for a better world, maybe, just maybe, we'd have it. But at least we'd be happier. At least we wouldn't be at each other's throats constantly. So what's the American dream to you? Because it seems to me like it's just a fallacy. Those are the words of Nickel P, my cousin. I encourage you guys to listen to his music and to really ask yourself that question. What's the American dream to you? And is that viable today? Is that real? Or is it just that, a dream? Something that goes away as soon as you wake up? So happy 4th, guys. It's hard for me to sit here and say, let's all go out and celebrate, given the state of the world and the state of things. For me, it's a time for me to self-reflect and say, what does America mean? We're celebrating its birthday, watching Independence Day, watching the fireworks, having a barbecue, but what does that really mean? What is it really about? Ask yourself that question. God Empress out.
Just a fallacy, a white picket fence with no rent in my reality. If I don't sell no records, then it's back to the block. So I stay with the connect and keep a heckler in cock. What's the American dream? It seems it's just a fallacy, a white picket fence with no rent in my reality. If I don't sell no records, then it's back to the block. So I stay with the connect.